How cookies actually work, decomplicated. Cookies are one of those things everyone has heard of. You accept them, you reject them, you see banners about them everywhere. But most people don't really know what cookies actually are, or what they really do. So let's slow this down and explain cookies in a simple, practical way. At the most basic level, a cookie is just a very small piece of text. Nothing more. It's not a program. It doesn't run code. It doesn't do anything by itself. A cookie is just information, stored by your browser, on your own device. When you visit a website, your browser and that website communicate. They do this through requests and responses. Your browser asks for a page. The website sends it back. And here's the key problem of the web. Websites don't naturally remember anything. Every request is separate. Every page load is like meeting someone for the first time. Unless something creates memory. That's what cookies are for. A cookie gives a website a way to recognize your browser later. Not you as a person, your browser. Think of it like a claim ticket. You don't store your code at the counter. You get a small numbered slip. The slip isn't valuable by itself. It just points to something stored somewhere else. Cookies work exactly like that. When a website sends a cookie, it usually contains an identifier, sometimes a session ID, sometimes a preference value. Your browser stores that cookie automatically. The next time your browser talks to that same website, it sends the cookie back. The website looks at it and says, "This browser again." That's how websites can keep you logged in. Remember what's in your shopping cart. Save your language or theme settings. Without cookies, most modern websites wouldn't function properly. Now here's an important distinction. There are first-party cookies and third-party cookies. First-party cookies come from the website you are actually visiting. They're usually functional. Login sessions, preferences, security checks. These cookies only go back to that same website. Third-party cookies are different. They come from services embedded into a site, analytics tools, advertising networks, social media integrations. When your browser loads those external elements, it also communicates with those third parties. And those third parties can store their own cookies. Now when you visit another site that uses the same service, that cookie gets sent again. This allows that company to recognize your browser across multiple websites. Not your name, not your identity, just a consistent browser identifier. Over time, that identifier can be linked to patterns, interests, general behavior. That's why tracking cookies feel different. Not because they are technically more powerful, but because they work across sites instead of just one. This is also why cookie consent banners exist. In many regions, websites are required to ask permission before placing non-essential cookies. But here's where things often get misunderstood. Cookies themselves rarely contain personal data. A cookie might just say something like, ID 583920. That number means nothing on its own. All the meaning lives on the server. Cookies are references, not records. Another common misconception is that cookies are dangerous software. They're not. Cookies can't read your files. They can't see your emails. They can't spy on your device. They only get sent back to the domain that created them. And browsers enforce this very strictly. A cookie from one website can't be read by another unrelated website. This boundary is one of the core security rules of the web. Now here's something most people don't realize. Cookies are actually one of the more transparent tracking methods. When browsers started limiting third-party cookies, tracking didn't disappear. It just changed. Techniques like browser fingerprinting, device characteristics, and behavioral patterns don't rely on cookies at all. And they're much harder to see or control. So ironically, cookies are often the most visible part of a much larger system. They're regulated. They can be deleted. They can be limited. That's not always true for newer tracking methods. Cookies originally existed for a simple reason. The web needed memory, sessions, logins, continuity. Cookies were a lightweight solution, easy to send, easy to understand, and they're still essential today, especially for authentication. When you log into a website, your password is not sent on every request. Instead, you log in once. The server verifies you, and then it gives your browser a session cookie. From that moment on, the cookie proves you're authenticated. That's why protecting cookies matters. If a session cookie is stolen, it can sometimes be reused. That's why modern websites use HTTPS, secure cookies, HTTP-only flags. These are guardrails, not because cookies are unsafe, but because they are powerful. When you clear cookies, you erase memory. Websites forget you. You're logged out. Settings reset. That's why clearing cookies often fixes broken websites. Private browsing works the same way. Cookies still exist, but only temporarily. Once the session ends, they're gone. So when you strip everything down, cookies are simple. Small pieces of text, stored by your browser, used to maintain continuity on a stateless web. They enable logins, preferences, and sessions. They can also enable tracking across sites. They are not good or bad by themselves. They're a tool. And on the internet, the impact of a tool depends entirely on how it's used. That's it. Did you already know this is how it works? Did something surprise you? Or would you like to know how something else works? Let me know in the comments. If you like my way of explaining, don't forget to like and subscribe. This will really help me and the channel to grow. Thanks for watching. Till next time.